Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into a topic that is literally reshaping the talent landscape as we speak. Think of me as your senior consultant today, and we're going to treat this like a strategic coaching session. We are talking about how to shift your recruiting process from a cold, clinical checklist of tasks into a genuinely empathetic, candidate-centric journey. And a huge part of that is learning how to calibrate your AI judgment skills so you can weave incredible technology into your hiring without stripping away your company's humanity. Whether you're an HR leader, a recruiter, or a hiring manager, this is all about fundamentally transforming how people experience your brand.
I want you to be totally honest with yourself for a second. What was the absolute most frustrating job application process you've ever experienced? I really want you to step right into the candidate's shoes here. Remember that specific feeling of spending hours customizing your resume, finally hitting submit, and then getting a robotic auto-response followed by weeks of just absolute agonizing silence? It's the worst, right? That anxiety, that feeling of just being totally undervalued, that is exactly what we are going to learn how to design out of your hiring process today.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today's Explainer. We're going to hit 6 stages: seeing through candidate eyes, discovery and initial screening, the interview process, offers and respectful rejections, the human-centric AI experience, and finally, actually building your journey map.
Starting with Section 1, seeing through candidate eyes, we're shifting from an internal process to an external experience.
Now, what's really fascinating about this breakdown is the massive disconnect it shows. On the left, you've got the recruiter's view. It looks so clean and efficient, right? Screen, phone call, office visit, offer. Done. But look at the stark contrast on the right, the candidate's actual view. It's a complete emotional roller coaster of anxiety, uncertainty, endless waiting, and then maybe excitement. Mapping your internal workflow and calling it a candidate experience is honestly the biggest mistake you can make in talent acquisition.
And that brings us to our most important tool, the candidate journey map. Look at the definition we have here. It's a visual representation of the candidate's experience, their emotions, their friction points, and their moments of truth. I cannot stress this enough. This isn't a flowchart of your HR software tasks. It's a literal map of human feelings, areas where people get confused, and those vital make-or-break interactions that fundamentally shape your employer brand out in the market.
Moving on to Section 2, discovery and initial screening. This is all about those crucial first impressions and early friction points.
Take a look at this timeline. It is incredibly common, but also deeply frustrating. Day 1, they discover the job. Day 2, they put in the real effort to submit an application. And then, crickets. By day 14, they're waiting in total silence, probably assuming they've been rejected and definitely feeling pretty cynical about your company. Then, out of nowhere, on day 16, a sudden message arrives asking for a call. From your side, you were just working through the queue. But from the candidate side, that unexplained 2-week wait has already built a massive resentment before you've even said hello.
And you know, sometimes candidates don't even make it onto the timeline at all. We found this great anecdote in our source data. A mid-market tech company needed a Kubernetes engineer, so they casually slapped 5 years' experience on the job description. Well, a highly capable engineer with 3 years of experience saw it and just self-selected out, assuming she wouldn't make the cut. 3 weeks later, that role was still sitting completely empty. When you use overly rigid job descriptions with a laundry list of non-prioritized nice-to-haves, you're creating completely unnecessary barriers. You are literally filtering out great people.
Now, let's look at how AI screening tools impact this early stage. One financial services firm decided to secretly deploy an AI screener. A candidate with a really strong but non-traditional background got auto-rejected, assumed it was human bias, and actually felt even worse when she found out a machine did it. The data clearly shows that candidates will accept AI screening, but only if you are completely transparent about it and only if there's an actual appeals process. Transparent AI builds trust. Hidden secret AI absolutely destroys it.
Section 3. The interview process. We need to move away from interrogation and toward an actual conversation.
Let's talk about the AI note-taking tools everyone is using on these calls right now. On the left, we see the danger zone, a recruiter just staring at a live AI transcripts, checking off boxes, looking totally disengaged. The candidate can literally see you aren't listening to them. On the right is where we want to be. The recruiter is making eye contact, actively listening, and the AI is operating completely invisibly in the background. Technology should aid the conversation, guys. It should never, ever replace actual human engagement.
And the interview stage is just fraught with post-interview anxiety. The data tells us that a 10-day silence after a VP-level interview doesn't just feel like a delay, it feels like a total dismissal. Imagine bringing your A game on a Friday and then hearing nothing for a week and a half.
But sending a quick, simple note saying, "Hey, you interviewed well, we're still reviewing," entirely changes their experience. Managing that uncertainty is honestly way more critical than moving at light speed.
These little interactions are exactly what we call a moment of truth. This is a critical, often super small interaction where the candidate's perception of your company gets shaped disproportionately. It's the recruiter who actually remembers a specific detail from a resume. It's the interviewer who asks about the candidate's schedule before just forcing a calendar invite on them. These tiny moments have an outsized emotional impact that people remember for years.
All right, Section 4, offers and respectful rejections, optimizing for the majority.
Most teams only design their process around the happy path, the one person who actually gets the job. But statistically, you have to optimize for the majority, and the majority are the ones getting rejected. If you ghost them, that silence is a harsh dismissal. The way you reject people directly builds or destroys your employer brand because rejected candidates talk to their friends. On the flip side, a respectfully rejected candidate will actually refer other good people to you. And a quick warning here, blasting out generic AI rejection letters almost always reads as cold and emotionally deflating.
Now check out this example of rejection feedback. You interviewed really well on systems architecture, but we found someone with more experience in this specific area. This brilliantly illustrates how simple a good rejection can be. It's not a long, drawn-out essay. It's just a tiny touch of personalized empathy from a hiring manager. That little bit of human-written feedback is remembered, and it turns a painful rejection into a respectful closed door.
Moving on to Section 5, the human-centric AI experience, balancing efficiency with empathy.
As you deploy these tools, you really need to calibrate your AI judgment skills. So put your consultant hats on with me for a second. You have to constantly evaluate the risk of the task versus the actual capability of the AI. Run through this quick checklist before you deploy anything. Is there transparency? Do they understand how they're being evaluated? And absolutely crucially, is there a clear human escalation path? We all know large language models are prone to hallucinations. You don't want an AI screener fabricating a fake citation from a candidate's portfolio or hallucinating a huge gap in a resume just because of a weird PDF formatting quirk. If your AI messes up, there absolutely must be a human safety net ready to catch it.
Let's compare how we apply that judgment in the real world. On the left is the ultimate anti-pattern, deploying AI purely for recruiter speed, like trying to fully automate interview scoring, without realizing the task risk is just way too high for what the AI can actually do reliably. On the right, we have the best practice, using AI for low-risk tasks, like giving candidates faster status updates, while deliberately protecting those human touchpoints where empathy and nuance are required. AI should enhance the journey, not make someone feel like they're just a data point inside a machine.
And finally, Section 6, building your journey map. Let's turn all this empathy into action.
It is time to make this concrete. I challenge you to sit down with your hiring teams this week and run this practical 1-hour mapping exercise. Step 1, just pick a specific scenario, like hiring a mid-level engineer. Step 2, brutally honestly map your current timeline and touchpoints. Step 3, identify the candidate's pain points and those moments of truth we talked about. And Step 4, please don't try to boil the ocean and fix everything at once. Pick just one immediate friction point and design a simple fix for it today.
When you build this map, make sure you're capturing these specific things. Write down what the candidate is feeling at each stage. Explicitly map out every single place an AI tool touches the process. Check it for accessibility. Can someone in a different time zone easily participate? Ensure your process offers equal clarity for people from all backgrounds. And remember, the talent market shifts constantly. Pull this map out and update it every 6 to 12 months. Truly great recruiting isn't an accident. It is intentionally designed.
I want to leave you with this final, highly provocative thought right from our source material. If a candidate you hired 6 months ago sat down right now and read your documented recruiting process, what would they actually say about their experience? Would they say they felt respected by your team? Would they honestly recommend that their friends apply? Rethink your employer brand through their eyes, start applying these human-centric AI strategies, and you won't just fill your open roles faster, you'll build the kind of company that top talent actually wants to work for. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you on the next one.